So just some reminders before we get into the video. First reminder is to make sure that you're keeping an eye out and an ear out for the key word for this lesson. Reminder number 2 is to make sure you're taking notes. Include the date, lesson number, aim, and standards to help you refer back in your notes. Let's get to it. Welcome back. Today we're going to be working on lesson number 3. We're going to be talking about markups. Our aim for today is how can we use our knowledge of percentages to calculate markup in real world situations. So what a markup is basically what stores do. They take or they purchase items and they increase the price by a certain percentage and then sell it at that price. So it's basically a percent increase of an item sold. This is where stores make a profit, meaning this is how they earn their money and make money. Wholesale is the original price. So if a store buys an item, that is the wholesale price. And then the retail price is how much they're selling the item for in their store. So how much the customer purchases it for. How much the customer purchases the item for. Also, you can think of it as your sale price or total cost once you're in the store. So to follow what we've been talking about using proportions and also using equations, when writing out your proportion, you want to make sure that you have your two fractions that are set equal to each other. You have your 100 on the bottom right, and then that's also always compared with your percentage. So we're going to be talking about our retail percent. Okay, and we're going to talk about that retail percent because it's not quite the markup, so we'll get back to it. Here we have on the left, the numerator is the retail amount, the retail price in money, and then we have our wholesale amount. Okay, and 100 is always referring to the wholesale. Now, in order to find our retail amount or retail percentage, so our retail percent is comprised of our markup, whatever percentage that your store is increasing the cost by, and then you're going to add your 100%, your wholesale. So it's 100% plus whatever the markup is, and that's going to get your retail. So if let's say I use an example, I'm going to mark up this item for 40%. So the markup is 40%, and I'll use MU. So if I want to use this in my proportion, I'm going to say, 40 plus 100, the wholesale percent, I'm going to get 140. So my retail percent is going to equal 140%, and that's what I'm going to use in my proportion. We still need that for when we deal with our equation. In our equation, we're going to start with our wholesale, amount in terms of money, obviously. We're going to multiply that by our retail percent. And that's going to give us our retail amount in terms of money. So let's try and apply these to the different guided practice problems that we have. And I'll show you one way, but we will be talking, or you can choose either way, proportions or equations. So we're going to focus on number 1. A renovating company paid $120,000 for a house. After fixing it up, and that's always important, they increased the price by 55%. So that's going to be our markup. We're going to find out what the selling price is. So basically what the retail price. If somebody purchases the house, what are they going to buy it for? So if this is our markup, 55%, our retail percent would be 155%. And that's always your quick math. So I'm going to use my proportions and set this up. I have my 2 fractions, 100. I have my retail percent, which is 155. I have my original amount, my wholesale, which is $128,000. And then I'm going to find out what that missing piece is, which is my selling price or the retail price. I want to make sure I'm following either cross multiplying, or I can use scaling up, scaling down, whichever works. If you scale up and scale down, you want to see what value is going to get you from 100 to 120,000, and then you're going to multiply that by your 155. Again, if you're cross multiplying, you have 100x equals 155 times 120,000, which is 100x equals 181. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to isolate my variable by dividing by 100. X is going to give me 186,000, and that's going to be my sale price. That's how much my house will be sold for, or put up to be sold. Okay, let's try number 2. Number 2, we have a mattress that costs $217.50. The store included, and that's a key, included a 45% markup in her total. What is the wholesale? So part of this is just going back and reading the question very carefully. So I'm going to use my proportions in this situation because there's going to be some parts missing. So here we have 100. I know my markup is 45%. So my retail would be 145. So that's what I'm going to use in my equation. And then we have what the amount sold for, or the mattress sold for. It's $217.50, but we don't know the wholesale. We don't know what we purchased it for. We have to figure that out. So again, you can cross multiply and get 145x equals $217.50 times 100, which would be 145x multiplied, you would get 250 without your decimal. You want to divide both sides by 145. X is going to equal 150. So that means the original price was $150 before they marked it up 45% to get it at $217.50. So what you're going to do now for number 3, you're going to pause the video here, try it on your own, and then come back and check your answer. Okay, so welcome back. We have Alyssa. It costs her $20 to make a dress. She sells the dress for $55. Oh, and now we have to figure out what markup rate she applied. So, you know me, I always use my proportion when I'm talking about percentages. So 100, we don't know the percent. We know it cost her originally the wholesale price, $20, and then she sold it for $55. So now I'm going to actually simply just say 20 to 100. What am I going to do? All I have to do, multiply by 5. So that means 55 times 5 is going to give me my missing piece. So X is going to be 275. Now, think about this for a second. Your retail price is here. So go back to the beginning. This is your retail. Your retail percent, which is made of your markup, which we need, the markup percent, and you're going to add 100%. So if you think about it, I have my 275. I don't know my markup percent, and I have my 100. So now all I have to do is take 100 away, just like a normal equation, and I'm left with 175%. So what Alyssa did is she marked up her cost or her item 175%. All right, so 175% would be your answer. Make sure you write your notes down. Make sure you're writing questions down. Identify your keyword and phrase for the video and the lesson. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.